Hello and welcome to Maths by SAS. This is my sixth lesson of D2, chapter number 16, exercise 16b. In today's class, we will be discussing how to construct the histogram with equal class width. What is histogram and what are the important terms associated with histogram like class limits and class intervals, class boundaries and class mark and class width. These are the important points that my students have to be clear about these things. So if you have missed the previous class or you are catching us late, you have to have the clear idea of these all terms so that you can understand this topic easily. And second thing is that this is one of the most important concepts of your O-level examinations. So please watch and understand the previous lesson so that you can have the good command on the new topic. In this class, we will be discussing and solving basic level question number 5. As the questions are long, so I've written the question in short form and I'll be reading the question from the book. Question says, the following table shows the distribution of the marks of some students who took part in the science quiz. Marks are given in form of the intervals 56 to 60, 61 to 65, 66 to 70, 71 to 75, 76 to 80, 81 to 85, 86 to 90, and 91 to 95, and 96 to 100. And then the tally marks are given in front of the first class. The tally marks are 7. For the second, again this is 7. For third, it is 5. And then the next 71 to 75, it is 10, then 5, then again 5, then 2, then 3 and 3. Now the requirement of the question is that we have to complete the table and then we have to decide to which class do the marks 90.9, 66.2 and 81.5 belong to, and then we have to construct and draw the histogram to represent this distribution. Okay, let's first talk about the table. We can see that there are 3 columns which are incomplete. So first of all, we have to complete these incomplete columns, and we can see the first requirement is the lower class boundary. Recall my previous lesson that when we need to construct the class boundaries, if we look at the marks which are given, we can see that marks are not given in the continuous form. Okay, there is the gap of 1 unit here. So in order to make the marks continuous, it means we are given with class limits and we have to turn class limits to class boundaries. And recall the procedure of construction of the class boundaries, that what we have to do, we have to find this diagonal difference between the upper class limit of the upper class and lower class limit of the lower class. And if we observe, in almost all of the classes, 70 to 71, 75 to 76, 80 to 81, 85 to 86, 90 to 91 and 95 to 96, this difference is of 1 unit. So what we have to do, we have to, in order to turn limits to boundaries, we have to find this difference and we have to make it half, divide by 2, and that becomes 0.5. Now what we have to do is that from the very starting number of the data, we have to subtract that 0.5. Okay, and when I'm subtracting 0.5 from 56, it becomes 55.5, which is the lower class boundary of the first class. And what we have to do, we have to add 0.5 to the upper class limit of the same class, and this will become 60.5. Now see, when I will be subtracting 0.5 from 61, I will have 60.5. So in the next classes, I will not be struggling. I will simply be writing these elements, these numbers as it is, 60.5 and then 65.5, and then again I will have 65.5 and 70.5, and then 70.5 to 75.5, then 75.5 to 80.5, 80.5 to 85.5, 85.5, then 85.5 to 90.5, 90.5, and then 90.5 to 95.5. In this question, I will be discussing one or two extra parts which are the important and compulsory part of your O-level examination paper. So don't miss any part of the lesson. And the last one will be 95.5 to 100.5. I hope construction of class boundaries is clear to all of my students. Why and when to construct the class boundaries? When the data is not continuous, there is a gap of, and mostly there is a gap of 1 unit in almost all of the questions that we have observed. Okay, look, this is 55.5 to 60.5, 60.5 to 65.5, then 65.5 to 70.5, then 70.5 to 75.5, then 75.5 to 80.5, 80.5 to 85.5, and 85.5 to 90.5, and 90.5 to 95.5, and this is 96. Okay, 96 when I'm taking away 0.5 from that, 95.5 to 100.5. And then the next task is the completion of frequency column. It's not difficult at all to complete the frequency column. Turning of tallies into numbers. Okay, how many tallies are here? 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, 7, then again 7, then 5, then 10, 2 sets of 5, then 5, then again 5, then 2, then 3, and again 3. I hope it's really easy and clear to my students that how we are turning the tallies to frequencies. 7, 7, 5, 10, 5, 5, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, and then the question says that first part is done, that we have completed the table. The second part says to which class the marks 90.9. Okay, B part. We have to decide that to which class the marks 90.9 belongs to. Okay, now we have to move into the table and see that we are getting 90 here, but our class is finishing at 90, or maximum we can go to till 90.5. All the marks which are from 90.5 to 95.5, they are in the class 91 to 95. So the class for this requirement will be 91 to 95. And the second one is 66.2. 66.2. Now again go back to your frequency table and see 66.2, 66.2. Okay, this is 65.5 and 70.5. So 66 will be coming between 66 and 70. So for this requirement, the class will be 66 to 70 and the third requirement is 81.5. Very easy questions and interesting as well. 81.5. Now look, 81.5. All the marks which are between 80.5 to 85.5, they are coming in this class. So 81.5 will be coming in 81 to 85. 81 to 85. Now on the basis of the same question, the examiner can ask you sometimes identify the model interval. This is the extra part. Let me mark it with D. Identify the model interval model interval. Although this is not in this question, but I feel the need of discussion of this part here. Interval. Recall my previous lesson that for the group frequency table, what is mod? Mod is the number that has the largest frequency in front of that. Now see which one is the largest frequency. Largest frequency in this data is 10. So the model interval or model class. These are the two different languages that the examiner can ask you. Model class will be equal to. Now see what is the interval for which the frequency 10 is coming. That is 71 to 75. 71 to 75. Look, we have to first locate the highest frequency, and the highest frequency is 10, and the class in front of that is having the number 71 to 75. So the model class or the model interval is 71 to 75. I hope you are clear about this part. Although this was not included in the question, but in the exam you will often be getting this type of question. So I thought to discuss this part with my students before their O-level examination. And now the next part is that we have to draw the histogram for this information. So for the construction of histogram, I always advise it to my students that they must have to check class width of all the classes. Class width of all the classes must be equal and same, and if the class width of even the single class is not same, then we're not going to draw histogram with actual frequencies. For that you have to catch me in the next class. So let's check the class width of each classes. Here 56 to 60, the difference is 4. Here again the difference is 4. This is the difference 4. Again difference 4. And 76 to 80 difference is 4. 81 to 85 difference is 4. And 86 to 90 difference is 4. Again difference 4. 96 to 100, again the difference is 4. And the class width of all the classes, if you recall my lesson about the sets, there was the problem that in which we discussed that number of elements is always one more than the difference. So as the difference we are getting is 4, so class width of all the classes is 5. That is, that class width of all classes is same. So we are going to plot actual frequencies. Coming to the graph, now look, for x-axis we have to mark class boundaries, okay, and class boundaries are beginning with 55.5 to 60.5, then 65.5, 65.5, okay, then 70.5, 75.5, 80.5, 85.5, 90.5, 95.5 and 100.5. And then on y-axis we have to mark the frequencies. As the data for frequencies is not too large, so we can have 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit for y-axis. And now why I'm putting this zigzag line. Look, the data is beginning with 55, 56, okay. This is the scale break, and that will tell us that there are the values behind this data as well. Now for 55 to 55.5 to 60.5, the frequency is 7. So what we have to do is we have to construct a rectangle at this place. This is 7, okay. Please observe this carefully. This is one of most important parts of your O-level examination. Before going to your CI exam that is going to inshallah held on Thursday 29th July, you have to watch and understand these all questions properly. Then the second frequency which is for 60.5 to 65.5 is again 7. Again 7. So the height of the rectangles will remain same, okay. And then For the next third class, that is 65.5 to 70.5, the frequency is 5. So I have to mark the point in front of 5, and then I have to complete the rectangle at this place. Very easy question, and you have to enjoy your work as well. So this is 5, and for the next one, this is 70.5 to 75.5. We have to have the frequency of 10. So what we have to do is, this is the point where 10 is coming, okay, and now I have to complete the rectangle on this side as well. 10, okay. Look how easy this article is, and very paying article. Everybody can grasp good marks here, okay. And then for 75.5 to 80.5, 75.5 to 80.5, the frequency is 5, okay. The frequency is 5. So I have to make a rectangle at this place, because histogram is the graph of adjacent rectangles. And then for 80.5 to 80.5 to 85.5, it's again 5. It's again 5. So quickly, okay, and in your O-level examination, you have to draw this graph with black pen, because the papers have to go in the scanner, and scanner will not be able to identify your pencil work. Then 85.5 to 90.5, the frequency is 2. So let me mark the point here, and then quickly I have to complete the rectangle at this place, 2. And then again for 90.5 to 95.5, the frequency is 3. And for 100.5 as well, the frequency is 3. So let me complete these two last rectangles. Oh, look what a beautiful diagram we are getting. And now let me quickly recheck the frequencies. The first frequency is 7, the second is 7, third is 5, then 5, then the fourth one is 10, then 5 is coming twice, 2 is once, and 3. Okay, now we are successful in making the histogram. And now what we have to do, we have to draw the lines with the bold markers, so that my students can see this working easily, and the graph becomes more prominent for them, okay. Let me do it quickly, because I have to teach my students the time management skill as well, okay. Try to attempt your graph question at the end, please, because it can consume your time. So learn time management skills, please. You have to watch and understand this lesson carefully, and recall that before going to histogram construction and drawing of histogram, you have to check the class width of all the classes. If the class width of all classes is same, then you have to plot actual frequencies. But if the class width of even a single class is not equal or same, then you do not have to plot actual frequencies. How to do that? For that, you have to catch me in the next class, because that technique is also one of the important techniques of the construction of histograms. Okay, histogram is complete, and now before submitting my work, I have to see that axes are labeled, graph is drawn, and what is left. The thing is that we have to write the title of the graph as well. So title, from where to locate the title, students, you have to see, and you have to read the main line of the question. The table shows the distribution of the marks of some students. So histogram representing marks of some students who took part in science quiz. Okay, look at the format of the title that I'm giving. I'm trying to write the title at the top of this graph, and my title is forming almost the pyramid form. Okay, and my first line is long, then the short, and then short. You have to follow these all rules. I hope you are clear about today's class. Please watch my lessons, like, share and subscribe the channel, and press bell icon to get the notification of every lesson in time. Thank you very much. And before going to the wind up of lesson, you can shade the graph with pencil, but do not take more time. I'm repeatedly asking it to my students that you can shade for the purpose of the beauty, but do not take more time. Okay, so give some shading. Okay, give some shading to make your graph more beautiful and prominent, but please do not take more time for the coloring and shading, because you have to manage at least 10 to 12 questions in your O-level examination. Okay, thank you very much.